I'm Tina. Sitting here in my new, secure apartment, surrounded by the quiet that comes with setting boundaries, I can't help but reflect on how I got here. It all came to a head just a few weeks ago when my dad, Henry, called from an unknown number. I could hear the panic in his voice as he launched into a tirade about how I'd ruined the family. The travel agency kept part of the deposit because of your card stunt. Your mother, Linda, is humiliated in front of everyone, and now there's a detective asking about a trespassing incident. I can't have that on my record at my age, he ranted. I listened calmly, then replied, "You did this to yourselves when you tried to steal my money and broke into my apartment. I have all the evidence, the bank alert, the chat messages, the video of you in my place, the police report, and the location logs. I've already spoken to a lawyer, and you're lucky I haven't filed criminal charges yet." There was a long, stunned silence on the other end. That call was the culmination of a long-standing battle with my family over respect and boundaries. Let me rewind. I'm a 32-year-old software engineer living in Seattle. I work for a big tech firm, and I've been doing well. My family lives in a small town in Oregon, and I used to fly back for holidays, always hoping things would be different. My parents, Henry and Linda, have always been controlling. Henry is a proud man, used to getting his way, and Linda follows his lead. My younger sister, Lily, is spoiled and used to having everything handed to her. This past Thanksgiving, I flew home with high hopes. I'd just completed a major project at work that had earned me a big bonus. I thought maybe they'd finally see me as more than just the family's cash cow. We were sitting around the dinner table, making small talk, when Linda started gushing about a European vacation they'd been planning for years. "This could finally be the year, Tina. We've been saving up," she said. I smiled and said, "I can't wait. I've already cleared my schedule at work." That's when Henry set his fork down, looked me straight in the eye, and said with a smirk, "Vacations for family. Without you. You're always working, Tina. Let the rest of us enjoy it." The table erupted in laughter. Lily snorted, and Linda let out that fake laugh she does. I sat there, my face burning, waiting for him to say he was joking. But he just added, "Money's tight, and you're never around anyway." I felt like my heart had been punched. I'd given them so much money over the years for Lily's college tuition, Henry's business debts, and countless other things. I'd always told myself it was for the family, but in that moment, I realized they saw me as nothing more than a walking ATM. I pushed my chair back, said, "Excuse me," and walked out of the room, my ears ringing. The next morning, back in my Seattle apartment, I woke up to a bank alert. Someone had tried to withdraw $8,500 from the joint account I'd opened with Linda years ago at her insistence. It was a charge at a travel agency for the European trip they'd been talking about. I was furious. Without hesitation, I logged into my banking app, locked the card, and removed Linda as a user. Then I sent a message to our family group chat, "Pay without me." The response was immediate. Lily texted, "What's wrong with you? You're ruining Mom's vacation." Henry followed with, "This isn't funny, Tina. Turn the card back on." Linda sent a long message saying it was all a misunderstanding and that I was being dramatic and cruel. Over the next few days, the family group chat became a war zone. They called me selfish, ungrateful, and said I was destroying the family. I started to doubt myself, but then I remembered all the times they'd taken advantage of me. I replied firmly, "From now on, my money is my business. The account is closed, and I won't discuss it again." But they didn't stop. Lily posted a vague status on Facebook about how some people forget their roots once they get a good job. Second cousins I hadn't talked to in years started messaging me, telling me to be more understanding. At work, my manager asked if I was okay because I'd been snappy. One evening, after a long day at work, I came home to find my front door slightly ajar. My heart dropped. I knew right away that something was wrong. I grabbed my phone, turned on the camera, and slowly pushed the door open. There, in the middle of my living room, were Henry, Linda, and Lily. Henry was going through my desk drawers, Linda was packing some of my clothes into a box, and Lily was sitting on my couch, looking through my mail. I was in shock. "What the hell are you doing in my apartment?" I demanded. Linda turned around and said, "We were just checking on you. You've been so distant, and we were worried." I was furious. "You broke into my apartment." "This is a crime," I said, holding up my phone to record them. Henry tried to brush it off. "We used the spare key you gave us. Families don't need an invitation." But I wasn't having it. I dialed 911 and told the dispatcher what was happening. Henry's face went pale, and Linda lunged at me, but I stepped back and told her not to touch me. The police arrived quickly. They listened to our stories and watched the video I'd taken. In the end, they gave my parents a choice: leave immediately and never enter without my written permission, or be cited and potentially arrested. As they left, Henry glared at me and said, "You're going to regret this, Tina." Linda whispered, "I don't even recognize you anymore." After they left, I felt violated. I called my best friend, Sarah, and she told me I needed to get a new place with better security. So, I started looking for a new apartment. While packing, I found more signs of their invasion. A note from Linda in one of my files, criticizing my spending. And I discovered that they'd been using the location sharing feature on my phone to track my movements. It was like they'd been planning this break-in around my work schedule. I switched off location sharing, removed myself from the family group, and changed all my passwords. I also gathered all the evidence: the bank alert, the chat messages, the video of the break-in, and the police report, and sent it to a lawyer Sarah recommended. The lawyer said I had a strong case for financial and emotional abuse. Armed with this knowledge, I moved into a new apartment with secure access and a doorman. A few weeks later, when Henry called to complain about the consequences of their actions, I was ready. I agreed to a final meeting at my new apartment's lobby lounge, where cameras were rolling. When they arrived, Lily looked sullen. I later found out she'd lost an internship because of the police incident. I slid a packet of evidence across the table and said, "This is what really happened. You tried to book a vacation I wasn't invited on, using my money. When I stopped you, you attacked me and invaded my home. This is legally actionable." Henry clenched his jaw and said, "You want to drag your own parents into court? Ruin our reputations?" I replied, "You already did that when you painted me as selfish. I've sent this evidence to all our relatives, and they've seen the truth." I then laid out my terms. "I've removed you from all my financial accounts. I have a repayment plan for the money you owe me. You can sign it and pay me back, or I'll take you to small claims court. If you ever enter my home without permission or track me again, I'll press criminal charges." Linda stared at the paper in disbelief. "You're treating us like criminals," she whispered. I looked her in the eye and said, "When you act like criminals, that's how the world treats you." In the end, Henry signed the repayment agreement with a shaking hand. I walked them out, and as the door closed behind them, I felt a sense of relief. Now, sitting here in my new, safe apartment, I know I made the right decision. My life is my own, and I won't let anyone cross my boundaries again. So, if your family shatters your trust, empties your accounts, and breaks into your home, would you forgive them, or would you make them pay the price?